In order to plumb and or at least put all of these beta tanks, all of Tamara's beta tanks on a sump system or a one filter system, we need to be able to drill them to be able to add water in and then overflow out. And what I'm thinking is the top tank overflows into the next and the next and the next, finally into the sump, giving them far more water dilution by increasing the overall water volume by about 200 gallons, being able to temperature regulate them better, and allowing for just simply overall easier maintenance and of course a better water quality. However, these are only 3 gallons. What bulkhead size do we need? Technically, we barely need to drip water through each system. They don't make real small bulkheads in the aquarium hobby sized a 1/4 inch or anything like that. You can get 1/2 inch ones, but they're still like 10, 15 bucks a piece. So I went and picked these guys up. This is a 1/2 inch electrical conduit fitting. You'll remember these if you've watched my channel before where I did the overhead sumps, and I've used these quite a few times. It's an electrical bulkhead. They're still a rubber gasket. They still work the same way as a normal bulkhead would. This goes through the tank. On the inside, we create a watertight seal with the gasket and then simply tighten it up. If all goes well, it'll look like this. Like this one here. See, now, when we add water to it, water simply overflows out, and I'll put a hose to the next tank. Now, you might be asking, why is it so low on the tank? Well, we do have the water level down a little bit because betas can jump. But the other thing is we can put attachments on it, whether it's a strainer or maybe an upturned elbow, something like really small like this, so we can skim the top if we want. However, if we do need to isolate a tank, we just disconnect the hose and turn this upwards, and now water can't flow out anymore. The problem is, I want them to be all symmetrical. Because along with my adult ADHD, I need everything. Like even when I put these just temporarily here, I was out here making sure they were evenly placed and they all looked cool. And then I thought this looked cool, and then I wanted to build a rack that showcased them like this. Because I like to see aquariums in absolutely every way possible. But, so I thought originally I'll just put this on here and drill into it, but it's not high enough. I need something that's really thick, and since I get Tamara's a little too thick, I thought, here's what I will do. I will take my book, big old thick book, right there, and boom, check this out. It's exactly where I need it to be. But I want them to be placed in identical locations, so I have this little template that actually comes with, it's a hole saw. This is a diamond tipped or diamond coated hole saw. So technically it's coated in a lot of diamonds. I don't know if that's actually real diamonds or not, because this bit's only like 30 bucks. It's expensive, but I should be able to drill all of these before it dulls. You usually get about 20 to 30 holes out of a diamond hole saw, but this is going to, I'll put this here. You might want to come over here.
Okay.
The most awkward person.
I know.
Instead of Tamara getting behind me in the camera, but she was gonna like go like this instead. Guys, she's only been doing YouTube for a few months. So that would be perfect. So all I need to do, I don't have to hold it there the whole time. I just need to start it. Now you see it's got a groove there. Usually you would spray the glass with water continuously. Usually the tank wouldn't be filled with water. Usually it wouldn't have fish in it. So what I'm doing here is I rinse the hole saw off every once in a while. I don't even need the book anymore. All of that was just a template. And now, see, it can be tricky. It'll jump all over the place on you. So you kind of want to angle yourself in and then slowly put it forward. So I already have my groove, and all I want to do is start the groove over the whole thing. Now once I get through that layer of paint, I'm going to get a bunch of pulverized sand on it, and I want that off. It takes it off, and it cools the bit at the same time, the water does. Usually you'll want to put a piece of tape on the other side to catch the glass falling through, but I've got 16 of these tanks to do. I'm going to catch it with my hand. Usually, you're drilling downwards, and you use the weight of the drill. You basically just have to push the button, and you do it for as long as it takes. But when I'm pressing up against the side, I don't have the weight of the drill going, because you'll see there's a bit of give. Yeah, so I push that in until the give stops. Another tip, so when I drill thick tanks, and I've done this exact same method, even drilling tanks with the fish in it, up to 3/4 inch thick glass. But another thing you're going to want to do is if you're using a cordless drill, I put it, this is what these settings are. Do you ever see this on the drill? So each one of these means that, so I've got it on 1, that means with very little force, I can stop it from spinning. And the higher you go, the harder it's going to get until you get to the drill setting where there is no resistance. So I put it on 1 with thin glass, because if this catches on the inside when it breaks through, it could crack the glass. This is a game of patience.
Thank you for the expert lesson in drilling holes.
We have a problem though, it wasn't just that simple. A hidden problem. There's no such thing as a diamond coated hole saw sized, technically, for the dimensions of electrical conduit. So ideally, after drilling that hole, I pop it through just like I did these guys, but you'll notice it won't go in.
It's too big.
Yeah, so I've got to now kind of sand the edges in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start like this and kind of work it in at every angle. This is easier and safer than actually drilling the hole, believe it or not. But you can create a bit of dust in the tank. Your fish won't eat it and it's completely safe. But I know a lot of people panic about it, but what's glass? It's sand. See? See how it went? Made that sound? It got caught on the glass. If I didn't have that on, the drill could have went or broke the glass. Do you know how I learned that? I broke the glass. When I give you guys these tips, it's from experience. It's not because I watched a guy on YouTube do it. I see a lot of people reinvent my videos or redo it. I'm like, man, be careful with that advice. Like, you need to know like the little ins and outs too. And you know how you learn the most? Breaking stuff, making mistakes. If everything works all the time, you learn nothing. My confidence doesn't come from all of my successes, it comes from all of my failures. It's almost like I'm trying to make quotes for t-shirts.
little things for people to hang on their walls in their kitchen.
I am Sensao. I'm a philanthropist, or a philosopher. Yeah, I don't know words. Yeah, so when I first discovered this, I was like, oh man, they don't fit. But that's what I thought was, I could have went a little bit bigger, but the flange on it, the lip isn't that big. And the next size up would have been overlapping, and the whole thing would have went down or through. But it's because I've shaped or made these holes bigger that I was able to know that, oh, I could just kind of shave it and increase the size myself. But always remember the gasket, the rubber gasket goes on the inside. Yeah, so that's cool. That's 3 of them. I just have 13 to go. There's a number of ways to drill a tank. There's right ways, there's wrong ways. This was probably one of the more advanced ways to do it, and although I found success, that's not necessarily the proper way to do it. As I've said before, do as I say, not as I actually do. Most glass tanks are drilled downwards, and I have videos on that, on how to do it with little bits of water constantly poured on it, and doing it in a number of different ways. I've shown you how to drill acrylic, glass, plywood, and how to plumb them all. You guys, and even did concrete. You guys should know how to do all of this, at least by now. But it's interesting that I used these 8 years ago, 9 years ago maybe in a video, and then I just remembered, oh yeah, I could just use those tiny little, but that's the point of my videos, is like, I don't expect you to build what I'm building, but what I expect is you to take these little ideas, and then when you do face a trivial issue with your aquarium, you can be like, oh yeah, that time Joey did this, or that DIY guy, or that guy I don't like that I follow his hot girlfriend's channel. Like, maybe you'll think of that. That one turned out even better. See, I've got a nice groove right off the bat. Not every hole is going to be the same. They all end up the same, but they don't all start the same. Speed of the drill does matter. The less experienced you are, I would suggest going like half speed. And then if you are experienced and you know everything that could happen, you can go like full speed. Personally, I like to do a mixture of both. I also, when it's spinning, I can look at the diamond coated, and I know that once that starts to disappear, I want it all to be kind of level. But this is only advice for like drilling in this way. So what I'll do is I'll go in circular motions, because what I'm doing is making sure that it's all going through at the same time. Because if you noticed, when I even create that little rift in it or whatever, it's like only on one area, usually near the top or the bottom, wherever the drill is like level to, because it's never going to be flat, completely flat up against it. So I've got more of it drilled through here than I do here, so what I got to do is just keep rocking it around. Anyways, now you know how to do it. Now I just have to do it 16 times. I hope you guys enjoy these little clips, because it takes me hours to make it happen.
He's thick. He's dummy thick.